Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to our adventures around the world. Well, today we're in Amman, Jordan, and we're going to show you the top sites around this amazing historic city. We're going to show you our trip over. We're going to say what it was like, maybe give you a few lessons learned, and we really hope you enjoy the day that you're going to see coming up here.
Welcome to Living Phase 2.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Nancy, and we're empty nesters striving to live life to the fullest.
And we are living that full life, sharing our adventures with you, our Phase 2 vlog.
Well, we sure are, friends, and today we're in Amman, Jordan, of all places.
Oh, it's been a real bucket list of ours to come here.
It has been, ever since we missed seeing it on the full world cruise. But we just got off a 12-hour flight from Detroit to Amman, and we've gotten settled but into the hotel, but we want to talk a little bit about our day.
Well, we decided to drive from the west side of Michigan, where we live, over to Detroit because we could get a direct flight. Well, Mother Nature also intervened a little bit, so we ended up leaving a little early there. We had snow, and by the time we left our house, we had about 3-4 inches of snow at our house, and it snowed most of the way across the state, all the way to Detroit. Luckily, we're kind of used to that in Michigan, and we didn't have any issues.
Well, we're on our way to the Detroit airport. We're getting out of Dodge here. We're getting out of this snowy weather on our way to Amman, Jordan, where we're also going to visit Petra and Egypt. Looking forward to this brand new adventure. Well, Mike, are you getting excited for our trip?
I really am.
What are you most looking forward to?
Getting out of this snow.
Me too. I actually am really looking forward to the pyramids. That's probably the highlight of the trip for me. What about you?
Petra.
Yeah,
Nice. I'm excited for the pyramids, but I don't know. I've always dreamed of going and seeing Petra ever since I saw Indiana Jones. So it's pretty excited for that. That's going to be an all-day adventure there at Petra. So.
But we did get to the airport. We actually had some dinner. We were in the smaller terminal here at Detroit. There's 2 main terminals, so there's not a lot of options, but we did have a quick bite at Outback Steakhouse. It was okay. I mean, it was an Outback Steakhouse.
Good. Yeah, I was very happy with
so
it.
we did that, but then we just sat around and waited about 3 hours to board our flight as we're waiting for the delay. This was our first time flying Royal Jordanian. We flew coach.
Well, after being an engineer on the Boeing 787 for years, I've never been able to fly on one. I've been in them in the factory when they're being built, and I've been under them. I've been everywhere. This is my first time flying on one. So.
Mike's excited. He gets to go on this.
We did have an exit row seat. You know, I've flown a lot for business. It was probably kind of about the same as any other coach international flight. You know, just not a lot of fun. It's small seats. In fact, Royal Jordanian, I believe, has one of the smallest and tightest seats and pitches.
I was in the middle of a row of 3. It was so cramped.
For 12 hours.
It was so cramped. And then the child kicking the seat and flipping up the table behind me the whole time.
Yeah, but you did have a way to mentally handle that.
Oh, I kept saying, okay, he's giving me a back massage. So I just kept telling myself that.
As the seat's doing this the whole time.
It was not a pleasant
for 12 hours.
trip. Yeah.
But that is part of the adventure of international travel. But we arrived. We have already pre-arranged for this tour with a local company who's going to have a guide for us. They did a great job. They met us right at the airport. He walked us through the visa process.
That was so nice. He made it really smooth for us. Honestly, it was just a cakewalk to get off the plane.
Yeah.
There he was, and he just handheld us the whole way through.
Yeah, he did. And then Ibrahim, our driver, was right there, took us right to the hotel, and that gets us here today. So then you can also take a look, and you can see what the hotel room looked like as we walked in. Welcome to our room. Okay, you're gonna see if There we go. Come on in to the atrium.
Okay.
Closet. We won't put anything. We won't put passports in the safe.
No.
Okay. Closet here. Are you ready
ready to see the room?
Yep.
Okay.
Very nice.
Bathroom. Shower. Separate toilet. They have a bidet.
Do they?
Overlooking the Ritz-Carlton. We've got a little desk area here.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
It's nice.
Well, it's very, very nice room. This
Oh,
is
the
a
room's
5-star
beautiful.
hotel. It has an atrium with the closets as you walk in, king size bed. It's got a desk area. It's got a sitting area where we're sitting right now. So very, very comfortable room. And yeah, it looks like it's a good start to this trip. Well, what we're going to do now is it's about 8 o'clock at night here. We are trying not to go to bed, obviously, and so that we can stay up. We're going to go grab some dinner, and we're going to show you what that's like at a local Lebanese restaurant.
Very good. Mike said the hummus has been some of the best hummus that he's ever had, and it really was delicious. It was so nice and creamy and flavorful. Everything had flavor here, a good flavor. So we're two thumbs up for our first meal here in Jordan. How'd you sleep last night?
Well, I slept good. I don't think you did, though.
I did not. I took a melatonin and it worked for about 2 hours, and then I was up 5 hours, just solid last night. I think I finally fell back to sleep about 6:15.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
So, well, it's jet lag. It's we're 8 hours different from our home. So
Way good.
it's part of international travel.
That's right.
But we got up, we went down. The breakfast is included here at the hotel. Fantastic buffet.
Oh, yes. Five out of 5 for sure on that. They had such a nice selection of breads, of pickled items, of American food.
Middle Eastern, Oriental.
Yes, just everything. Fruit. The fruit selection was great. They even had nice vegetables. So I felt like I had a very healthy breakfast.
Yeah, to keep your blood sugar from spiking
Yeah.
and all that. Although talking about blood sugar, they did have the hawala, I think is how you pronounce it.
And I tasted that. That was the only thing really
Yeah, we
sweet
had that
I
last
had.
time we were in the Middle East, and it's really good. Yeah, overall, great breakfast buffet. Get us a good hearty start, because what we have planned today is we're going out to see 3 major desert castle sites, and we're going to then after that go to a lady's house and have a cooking class. So follow along with us today as we go here in our trip to Jordan.
All right. See you soon.
Oh, well, that was a good day.
That was really nice. We visited 3 different castles here today. We're going to tell you about each one of them. The first one that we went to was called al-Azraq, which means the blue.
Right. It's also called Lawrence's Castle, and that's because Lawrence, or Lawrence of Arabia, as we'd say from the movie, had a base of operation here when he was fighting the Turkish here in Jordan. So it's really famous for that. That castle's been around since the 12th century. It's been rebuilt and repurposed and many different times. It's in fact, at one point it was a base for crusaders, as we said, Lawrence of Arabia. It was, it even has a small mosque on the inside. outside, but you can go in. It has a large courtyard, and you can climb up. You can walk around the inside of different parts of it. Yeah, it was quite fascinating. It's all from like basalt type stone, which this whole region was volcanic at one point. It was also had a big well, and they had a lot of reservoirs of water here back in the past. And now a lot of that's been diverted or pulled out, but that's why it was called the Blue as well. So I thought it was a pretty fascinating castle.
It was very interesting. Well, the second one that we went to was called Amra Palace, which was built back in the 8th century, and this had a bath in it for the Caliph.
Right, so they're not sure why, but the Caliph, which was the leader of this entire area of the Middle East, he had it all under his domain, built this as like a retreat or something of that nature, and had hot steam baths, all that. The really fascinating thing about this one is they still have frescoes, at least partial frescoes, on the walls from that time. So you can actually see the adornments and what would have been in it from back in the 8th century.
There was also little mosaic tile on the floor. So like little 1 centimeter or less than a centimeter squares of tile. And they've been doing some restoration work with that. But that was neat to see as well.
Yeah, this was really a good stop. And you made a friend too.
I did. There's a little kitty cat, little kitten there. And
Not sparing.
Aww.
That's happy. Happy cat.
No kitty.
You would find plenty of them all across Jordan.
Okay, friends, normally I would not touch a stray animal, but our guide assured us that this was a very friendly cat, and he seemed to know it quite well.
Yeah, so that was really pretty good.
Yeah.
And we left that area, but then right there in front of where the castle is, there was a Bedouin tent.
We went inside the Bedouin tent, and they were selling some souvenirs there. They gave us a cup of their chai tea. Now, their tea is made with cinnamon, sage, and cardamom, and they were also selling the tea leaves there as well. So we did get a little package of tea leaves.
Yep, so we can take it home and have some Jordanian tea
That's
when
right.
we're at home. It is addictive.
It was
it's really
very good.
Of course, it has a lot of sugar in it too, so, especially the Bedouin tea. They fill it full of sugar. So, well, we got back in the car and we headed to the next castle.
Well, our third and final castle is called Harranah. It was built back in the 8th century.
Yeah, it is. Now, this is a caravanserai. So a caravanserai is think of it as a motel for caravans, right? And so that's what this was. It was built out in the desert. So these caravans that would go between Damascus, in Syria, between Jordan, between Saudi Arabia, between different areas, the caravans would come across and they'd stop here to overnight. So this has 62 rooms within this caravanserai, and they would use those rooms as like a motel. They would come in, they'd cook, they'd take a rest here. It was a safe place to go, and it's very well preserved.
It really was. Even on the ceilings, you could see where they had lit fires on the floor, and the soot is still up on the ceilings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found that very fascinating.
And it is now, most of these castles that you see, they have gone through a lot of restoration. Now, this one that we're at now, though, you can see some of the original decoration up at the top, as they're still trying to preserve these castles as they go and go into the future. Well, I had a good time with this. This was an add-on. We didn't actually expect to do this. We had an extra day here in Jordan because we didn't know what would happen with our flight. And as you saw earlier in the video,
weather.
We had a lot of snow. So we kind of booked a buffer day in here, and on international travel, that's not too bad an idea to do. But once we knew we got here safely, everything was fine, we worked through the guide and the tour company that we've got to go ahead and add this extra day in here.
I'm really glad that we did that. I mean, it certainly was better than just kind of staying here at the hotel. And I enjoyed the drive out there. It's very desert. It's extremely barren. I mean, out in the open, there's no trees, there's no grass, no moss. There might be the occasional tiny little shrub, but it's extremely barren. We did see a couple of interesting things on the drive.
We did see a refugee camp for Syrian refugees.
We did. It was pretty empty at this point. I think, would they say about 90% of the people have all returned at this point to Syria?
Right, with the troubles that are ending and getting better in Syria. So now most of them have gone home, except for a small percentage age where their kids are in school and they're waiting for the school year to end and to cycle, then they're going to go back into Syria. But yeah, we certainly hope this continues to get better here. But now, if you've ever wanted to visit the Middle East, now is the time to go. I mean, there is nobody here. You saw us at these 3 different, very famous, one's a UNESCO World Heritage Site castle. We were the only people at all 3. Well, and obviously here in Jordan, this is where we've been saying, you know, now is the time to visit, right? Jordan is completely safe. We actually need to get cleaned up now because our day is not done yet. You're going to see us here in a few minutes. We're going to a Jordanian cooking class.
I'm really looking forward to this. I think this will be a lot of fun. I'm always interested to learn new recipes, new cooking techniques, new spices, all the fun stuff.
Yep, so you'll see it in just a minute. Well, that cooking class was a lot of fun.
I really enjoyed it. A lot better than our cooking class in Italy.
In Bari, Italy, yeah, that pasta class. So if you guys haven't seen that, you can go back and look at that fail in Bari. This was excellent.
This was really good.
Yeah, it really was. So our driver took us there. Traffic was kind of bad, but that's like any big city anywhere in the world. Took us to it. We got there. It's a really small place. I think it was actually someone's house, and then they were going to convert to a restaurant. And now what they do is they do these small cooking classes in there. It's Biet Satay.
That is correct.
Yeah, so is the name of the place. It's actually become quite famous now. We'll put a link in the description, so if you're in Jordan and Amman, want to give it a try.
Worth it, yes.
Yeah, we'll kind of, spoiler alert, we'll give you the end here first. It was great. So we'll tell you. Well, so we arrived, and there's a courtyard. The 2 ladies that hold the cooking class are in there. And we really didn't have any language barriers. Their English wasn't great, but it was certainly passable. Better than our Arabic, you know. And yeah. So we arrived and had some lentil soup. They offered that to us while we were waiting. There was 3 other people coming, so there was 5 total in our little cooking class. And once they arrived, we got to cooking.
Right, and we made at least 8 dishes. And the first thing that she did is she introduced the ingredients, which was really helpful. All the different spices and different things, and many of the things she'd put on the back of our hand so that we could taste it, so we knew what the ingredients were that we were going to be using. And then even throughout all of the cooking, she'd occasionally put things on the back of our hand. But we started out with a lot of chopping and getting everything prepared for some of the different hummuses, the salad, and we even put an eggplant on the grill.
Yeah, so they let the eggplant cook while we were chopping and doing other things. And then, of course, the eggplant we made into, you can guess, baba ganoush. We made that. We made a chicken dish. And what she did is went to each person that was in the cooking class, and we all did different things. And so, like in one case, I kneaded the dough, made the dough for the pita bread. You did part of the chicken dish. I mean, all of us did the chopping and things. And then the young man who was there got to flip the dish. It's actually called upside down chicken is the translation. He got to flip it and put it down there. So he didn't do too bad a job.
Right. We made another dish that was a fried dish. It was like a little breaded
I'd almost felt like a Scotch egg. But it had hamburger in it versus egg. But
right, but you start making this little cup, and then you fill it with meat, and then you close up the cup, and then it's fried. A lot of the dishes had a tahine in it, yogurt, eggplant, mint. Those were a lot of the ingredients that were used, or those were the ingredients that were used in a number of the dishes. But we made a salad and a chicken dish.
And they called them different kinds of hummuses. So like instead of chickpea or garbanzo bean hummus, it's, it was made with like beets or carrots or different things.
And we actually mashed them with a knife rather than putting them in a food processor. I kind of maybe appreciate how I cook at home. It's a little simpler than all of the cutting and the slicing and the mashing and everything.
But yeah, we made all those different dishes. And of course we sat down at a table for the 5 of us that were in the class, and we shared a meal, and it was really wonderful.
It was good. And then of course we finised it with dessert. It was a coconut flour sugar syrup dish that was baked.
Yep, and we had that with Turkish coffee, and that wrapped up the evening. So it was really wonderful. The whole experience took a couple hours, and I'd highly recommend Biet Satay.
And we'll link it below, so you can go there if you so desire. And two thumbs up, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're back at the hotel tonight, and this was a pretty full day for us. So we're going to wrap this up now and hit the bed, because tomorrow we're taking an entire tour of Amman, the actual city, and we're going to Jerash tomorrow. tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that.
All right. See you later.
Bye bye now.